Hello everyone, and you're very welcome back to the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. In this video, we're going to comment and look at the release of the video of Molly Staunton giving her evidence from her kitchen in America to the court in Dublin. Obviously, people will have seen it by now, and from the reaction from the public, from our friends, from our family, from everyone we know who's been following Aaron's case closely, have been fully aware of what happened during the course of Molly Staunton's testimony. We've explained it ad nauseum to people, but when they seen the clips of Molly Staunton being attacked by Seamus in her apartment and being attacked, coerced and bullied by Brendan Grehan from the court in Dublin, people are astonished and they simply cannot believe what Judge Michael White allowed to happen in that courtroom and from Molly Staunton's kitchen in America. So I just want to look at one article. So as far as we are aware, this is the only article that's been put up here. The author is journalist John Hand. And serious matter, court footage of key witness testifying against cop killer Brady leaked on social media in extremely serious breach. So this is John Hand on, he put it up on his Twitter account. I think it's with the Irish Sun, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just going to have a look at this article, going to read through it. We'll pick out those points that we'd like to reference as regards Mr. Hand and his interactions with Fianna Fáil TD Jim O'Callaghan. So the article reads as follows. Garda are carrying out inquiries into how court footage of a key witness testifying against cop killer Aaron Brady was leaked on social media. The matter is being treated extremely seriously by authorities, with the footage understood to be from the court's internal recording system. The video of witness Molly Staunton was shared on social media this week, including on some accounts associated with Brady. So when we seen that the footage was released, we most certainly did share that footage. And I don't think anyone with any conscience whatsoever or any belief in justice would expect the Brady family to do anything else, only highlight this footage that shows clearly that once again the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign has been telling the truth over the 500 videos and for over 4 years. We have been vindicated once again by the disgusting behaviour of our judicial system. Recording court proceedings is prohibited and is contempt, with those found guilty of the offence facing facing jail time or a fine. Well, the first thing is, I believe the recording was done by the court services. So I don't think there was any underhand or undercover recording. So again, Mr. Hand, you're jumping in and your facts on your first statement are wrong. So this was Fianna Fáil TD Jim O'Callaghan, who is eyeing up the justice portfolio in the next government, said it is a very serious matter, Mr. O'Callaghan said. He told the Irish Sun, even if the act of contempt was committed outside the jurisdiction, the court would still be extremely concerned by such reprehensible behaviour. So I'm not sure how Mr. O'Callaghan knows where the videos were released from, but he's saying that the release of the videos is completely reprehensible. We will be returning to Mr. O'Callaghan in some detail. Garda are carrying out inquiries in relation to it. However, it may be a matter for a judge to instigate an investigation, as the proceedings were carried out in the court's jurisdiction. The Garda, the Office of the DPP and the court services were contacted about the video on Tuesday. The Irish Sun also understands that the prosecuting team in the case were informed. Mr. Staunton's evidence took place via video link across a number of days after ad hoc arrangements were put in place due to travel restrictions with COVID-19 in 2020. So again, justice for Adrian Donoghue has been reduced to ad hoc arrangements. That's exactly what's happened there. And an arrangement that's illegal. And we've always said, not is it disrespectful to Garda Adrian Donoghue, but it stopped Aaron, it denied Aaron his opportunity to face his accuser, which is a given right for anyone in any court of law. So there we have it again, just ad hoc, and that is exactly what happened in Aaron's trial. Ad hoc, they were making stuff up as they went along. It is edited and she features in it wearing different outfits. Very important, Mr. Hand, if you want to just elaborate on that, Miss Staunton was attacked on different days. There were people in the room in her kitchen with her when she had taken an undertaking to the court service here in Ireland that there would be no one with her. And not only was there one breach, there were several breaches. And she lied repeatedly about people in contact with her, either via her laptop or actually in the room with her. She purged herself on numerous occasions, Mr. Hand. The judge, Mr. Justice Michael White, and prosecuting senior counsel Brendan Gresham also feature in the recording from the video link from the courtroom in Dublin. And I hope the people who have watched it are totally satisfied of the disgusting, pathetic behaviour of those two men. What Judge Michael White allowed, and it is obvious, even White himself knows, even Graham knows, they're holding their heads in shame. It is there for all to see. And we have spoken about this for 4 years. Nobody could comprehend what those two men done. But there it is in front of everyone now, holding their head in shame. There is nothing else, there's no other way to describe what those two men are doing in the videos. Footage leak. In the footage, someone can be heard intervening, put a stop to it now, put a stop to it. There's no more testimony. And this is Seamus, the man who attacked Molly in her kitchen when she was given evidence. He is later heard adding, tell them what you're supposed to tell them. And a very important point of information here is, this is at a point where Molly Staunton, as you have seen in the footage yourselves, she was saying quite clearly, Aaron never said those words. I cannot stand over what I said. Aaron didn't say those things. Aaron never said he shot a cop. She actually says Aaron never said those words more often than she did say Aaron did say he shot a cop. It also shows Mr. Graham for the prosecution asking, Miss Staunton, can you hear me? We seem to be having a lot of technical glitches today. There's a lot more interesting points than that, Mr. Hand. Again, if you want to contact us and maybe we'll run through it and enlighten you slightly as to what Mr. Graham was doing from the floor of the court. He badgered, he bullied, and he turned Miss Staunton into a hostile witness. And we still say that the Judge Michael White allowing that to happen was totally unethical and illegal. As another legal professional was speaking in the court in Dublin, Miss Staunton jumped up and said, sorry, 1 second. After getting up from her laptop and then returning to it, Miss Staunton added, I just asked him to leave, please, while I do this. The man in the background could be heard saying, I'm not leaving anywhere, fuck off. So, if we revert back to Mr. O'Callaghan and to Mr. Hand as an investigative journalist, obviously you want to make a comment on the possible contempt of court of the release of this video. But let us have a look, Mr. O'Callaghan, who is looking for the Justice Minister position in the new government to be formed. Look at the content of the video, man. Please look at the content, and you, if you get this position, Mr. O'Callaghan, if you are in a position to be Minister for Justice, can you accept as bona fides and correct and proper legal procedure what you are witnessing? Now, most people will have seen on social media, we've sent emails and we've left information in with Helen McEntee and the Ministry for Justice. We got some sort of a pathetic reply that they can't get involved and nonsense. We have actually put those up on Aaron's social platforms, and we have replied to that pathetic response. And each of those pathetic responses, you as the ministers and Ministry for Justice, again, are showing total disregard for the memory of Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue, because your silence in your pathetic replies of not contradicting what you are being told would suggest that it tells us, it doesn't suggest, it is there for all to see. You are accepting the information we are giving you. We're going to have a look at it now in a moment. But you are accepting that information. You're unwilling to act on that information. So therefore, you don't give a damn who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. You don't give a damn about justice. Witness testifies. In another part, Mr. Justice White asked the witness, "Is there someone there?" She replied, "Yes, I am asking them to leave." After this, Miss Staunton can be heard off camera, reiterating her point and arguing in the background. A state witness is arguing with someone who is attacking her. There's it there. We've all seen it. And Judge White done nothing. He allowed it to continue. At another stage of the video, Mr. Graham is told by the judge to proceed after he addresses Miss Staunton. She is then heard saying, "Can you leave?" once more to the man in her presence. In her evidence, Miss Staunton told the mother trial that she had heard Brady say he had to carry around the guilt of murdering a cop in Ireland. You forgot to mention, Mr. Hand, that in the clips, in the edited clips that were released on social media, Molly Staunton says 9 times, I think it is, possibly 11, that Aaron Brady didn't say it. Did you forget about that? Who gives you the right to edit and do selective editing of vital information from a witness in a state trial? Who gives you that right? Hand. Who? And we have sent, I think, some contact to you and asked you, have you spoken to the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign? And obviously we know you haven't. You haven't reached out. You haven't asked for a statement. You haven't asked any questions about what happened to Molly Staunton, how she was attacked and how she was bullied from Dublin. She told the court that Brady claimed in a drunken rant. You see, even this, when you're trying to hide stuff, it's still all there for everyone to see. Does anyone believe a drunken rant, if it did happen, a drunken rant is strong enough evidence of hearsay to convict a man for 40 years for a murder he physically couldn't have committed? A drunken rant, it's in there. So, she told the court that Brady claimed in a drunken rant to be the most feared man in Ireland. I'm not so sure about that. The Court of Appeal found this year that it was correct to allow the prosecution to treat her as the hostile witness when she appeared to resile from her evidence during the cross-examination. Again, no details, no information, Mr. Hand. Go in and tell the people what she said. That is what you should have done in this article. She repeated on numerous occasions he didn't say it. No, I don't believe he said that. No, he did not say that. No, Aaron did not say that. I don't want to be responsible. Aaron did not say those words. When shown a video of her original statement to the Garda, Miss Staunton went back to her original position, which was that she heard Brady admit to murdering a cop. Referring to the interruptions, the Court of Appeal found they did not pose a real or substantial risk of an unfair trial. I'm going to read the last line again. Please, people, please, if you have watched the videos of Molly Staunton being attacked, please listen to this line. Referring to the interruptions, the Court of Appeal found they did not pose a real and substantial risk of an unfair trial. Now, even the most basic people without any knowledge of law can see that the trial should have been stopped immediately. Maybe not after the first interruption, but after the second interruption. And again, Mr. Hand, very selective, very editorial. You forget to mention that Molly Staunton there was a physical altercation with Seamus, and the laptop was slammed down. That happened. The laptop was slammed. So this is what you have to report on correctly. Re-rate it, Mr. Hand, and re-rate it properly. The whole story, not the narrative that was handed to you, that was written in the Garda press office. You didn't write that. If you did write that, it's a very poor reflection on your journalistic abilities. So we're going to refer back now once again to Mr. O'Callaghan, who is searching for the position of Justice Minister. Now, when we've seen the article from Mr. Hand, we reached out to Mr. O'Callaghan and we sent him an email. Again, I just want to read it out, and I will put it in the descriptions below, but I just want to go through very clearly the information that this man, Jim O'Callaghan, is now in receipt of. And as a public representative, I think there are certain things he should do, and just ask a couple of questions would be a very good start, Mr. O'Callaghan. And if you want to speak to us at any time, we're more than willing to do so. Excuse me. To Mr. Jim O'Callaghan, TD. Dear Mr. O'Callaghan, we, the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign and the Brady family, are reaching out to you with the utmost urgency and seriousness. As a senior Fianna Fáil TD and someone with aspirations for the justice portfolio, your silence on the critical issues surrounding the case of Aaron Brady is deeply concerning. Recent media coverage, particularly an article by John Hand in the Irish Sun, focused solely on the release of Molly Staunton's testimony and ignored the glaring injustices and grave concerns exposed by that testimony. We fully understand the sensitivities surrounding the release of such material, but what we cannot understand is the complete failure to address the substance of what the tapes reveal. Key evidence cannot be ignored. CCTV footage evidence proves Aaron Brady could not be the shooter. Attached to this correspondence, you will find CCTV stills taken at the moment Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue was tragically murdered at Lordship Credit Union. These stills, along with corresponding analysis, show that the shooter was 6'3" tall, while Aaron Brady is 5'7". This critical height discrepancy is not open to interpretation. It is scientific, visual fact that makes it physically impossible for Aaron Brady to have been the man who pulled the trigger. Eyewitnesses, including Detective Garda Joe Ryan, a professional witness with over 30 years service, stated unequivocally that the shooter was over 6 feet tall. These testimonies leave no doubt that Aaron Brady could not have been the shooter. Official Garda documentation contained detailed descriptions of the raiders that align with the evidence from the CCTV footage and eyewitness statements. These descriptions categorically exclude Aaron Brady as being the shooter. So attached to Mr. O'Callaghan's email are the following pictures. And we have here myself, Caroline and Aaron, and we can see clearly Aaron is 5'7". And for the record, Aaron isn't actually 5'7" tall, he's a little bit shorter. Notwithstanding that, we've always stayed on the conservative side. with all these measurements. For example, the critical picture of the man who murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. You can see there, I'll bring it up on the screen. The raider with the shotgun is number one. He's head and shoulders above the other raider. Raider number two is the man with the handgun. And the Garda car is driven by Joe Ryan, and Adrian Donoghue was the passenger. And the car we see on the right-hand side is Pat Bellew's car. And we can see without a shadow of a doubt that the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue is head and shoulders above the raider with the handgun. And we have established his height from measurements from the apex of the open door at the driver's door, Joe Ryan's car door. And as we said, we have also put in for Mr. O'Callaghan to read. This is an official Garda document from, I'll put it up on the screen, from the 2nd of February 2013. So it is a week after the murder and robbery. Read descriptions of raiders. Detailed description of raiders based on witness statements and CCTV footage. We'll just look briefly, I don't want to stray, but we'll just look at the driver of the getaway car from Mary Hanlon. Thinks it was a female with short blonde hair, white, Irish, young enough, 20s or 30s, looked straight ahead, never looked at Hanlon, wearing a dark coloured beanie or monkey hat. And we know from extensive coverage we've released in our videos that Mary Hanlon is of no doubt that it was a woman driver, and obviously there was no woman that could possibly be linked to Aaron Brady in relation to any gang or whatever that was falsely created by the Irish authorities. Now this is the important one. Raider with shotgun from Detective Garda Ryan. Tall, about 6 foot to 6'1", thin build. In his 20s, based on build and the way he ran. Right-handed as he held the gun to the right side of his body. Couldn't place the accent, but not a strong Northern Ireland or Dublin accent. Roared, "I'll effing kill you. Don't move, I'll shoot. Give us the money." Also shouts for the keys. Dark balaclava with slits in his eyes, dark tracksuit, but the top and bottom didn't match and were different colour. Full-length shotgun. So there we have quite a detailed description from Garda Ryan. So there's no ambiguity or no nonsense that he may have been in a, let's say, a tight situation. And I must reiterate once again, at the moment when Joe Ryan was taking in the horrific scenes in front of him, two men in front of him with weapons, he was unaware that his colleague Adrian Donoghue had been murdered. That had happened to his left. Joe Ryan was attacked from the right. And that's a matter of record in the courts and indeed in Joe Ryan's statements. So Mr. O'Callaghan and Mr. Hand, but particularly Mr. O'Callaghan, I'll leave you with this note. You, as you say, are looking for the position of Minister for Justice. We have a man who worked for the state, a man who gave his life for the state, Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. Detective Donoghue was murdered by a man who was 6'3", 6 foot to 6'3". Aaron Brady, our son, has been framed. Aaron is 5'7" and is serving 40 years for a murder, a crime he physically could not have committed because the evidence is clear and it's unequivocal. So, Mr. O'Callaghan, Mr. Hand, if you want to contact the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign, please feel free to do so. We are more than willing to speak to anyone at any time. So, thank you once again for watching, everyone. Please like, comment and share. Everyone is contacting us and telling us how severely our social platforms or social media platforms are being attacked. So we do need your help to spread the word and show the facts, show the details. And please, please help Aaron's campaign by like, comment and share. And if anyone has a mind to do so, please contact TD Jim O'Callaghan and ask, is he happy and satisfied with the outcome of Aaron Brady's trial? And if the rhetoric comes back to you that, oh, we cannot get involved with what's happening in the courts, that is a pathetic account, because the courts are responsible to the government. And if a miscarriage of justice is in your face, Mr. O'Callaghan, it's there. You now are in possession of a picture of the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. And that picture tells you it's not Aaron Brady.